Scoreboard.
This game day update is sponsored by Mutual Federal, proudly serving Columbus with personal and business solutions at mutualfederal.com.
And I'm Cole Bartemus. Big noon kickoff is back in town, so we are counting down to 12 o'clock when Ohio State and Rutgers get underway in the shoe. We got pregame coverage all morning long right here on The Fan. And as soon as this game is over, it is immediately Michigan week. Elsewhere around the country, not going to lie, a bit of a dog slate in college football today. But we got a couple good ones on deck. Number 22, Missouri, and number 8, Oklahoma will get going at noon live from Norman. The Sooners are coming off a statement victory versus Alabama last week, and now they're in the driver's seat to host a playoff game. And at 3:30, we got an important game in the Big Ten. Number 15, USC, is in Eugene taking on number 7, Oregon. If the Trojans win this one, they can completely redirect the playoff implications for both of these teams. And we got one more to look out for. Down I-71, number 11, BYU's in Cincinnati. Don't let the rankings fool you. The odds makers say this one will be close.
Do you smell it? The fine aroma of a soon-to-be Buckeye victory and Rothman searing his brat. Intoxicating. This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Tailgate Show.
Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And presented by Curtis & Associates. Remember, they don't get paid unless you get paid. And by Mountain Dew. Here for the good times. Do the do.
Live from Fan Fest, here's Tim May, Dave Biddle, and Anthony Rothman.
All right, here we go for the final time here on campus. The sun is shining. The dampness is dissipating.
Undampening.
And the crowd is lined up for Skull Session already. I'm here with my boys, Dave Biddle and Tim May. I'm Anthony Rothman. Welcome in. Your number one team in the country, the Ohio State Buckeyes, looking to stay undefeated as big favorites today against Rutgers. Rutgers coming in off a bye. I'll get that out of the way right away. Not that that will matter today, but we got a lot to look forward to because it's the game before the game. Dave Biddle, how do we feel about the situation today strategy-wise and how Ryan Day will approach it today, wanting to stay sharp yet stay healthy and feel great at 3:30?
Exactly right. Like, if you're Ryan Day, as soon as you think you have this game in the bag, Michigan week starts right then. You get your main players out of the game. Now, easier said than done. The Buckeyes are banged up. We'll see when the availability report comes out. I'll be surprised, Tim May, if Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate play, but we shall see.
I'll be
guys,
surprised, too.
This is one of the strangest senior days I can remember at Ohio State. Small senior class. There are some guys that could leave, that might not leave. They're like fourth-year juniors, and we don't know exactly who's going to walk. We know most of the guys who are going to walk, but very strange senior day. Rutgers will come in here, as you know, Tim, like pulling out all the stops with Schiano.
Yep.
He does that anyway. He's going to do it to an extra extent today. But, yeah, I think the Buckeyes, they're going to try and get a big lead and then try to get their guys out of there and get ready for Ann Arbor.
Yeah, it's funny to say, but I do think Rutgers is more talented than UCLA, believe it or not. But they have the worst run defense in the Big Ten and one of the worst play average yards given up per play averages in the country, if not the worst. So you would think Greg Schiano would be all about defense here. And how many years is this into his second term at Rutgers? And it's the opposite of that. They got some players on offense. I mean,
they got a really good running back.
Yeah. And Kelly Ogmanis, their quarterback, whose name I just figured out how to say just now. I got right. Just when I got Iamaliava. Just when I got Iamaliava figured out, he didn't play. So, but the bottom line is they've got some players on offense too. They just don't have that anywhere close to that complete team. And like you said, this is the game before the game. And whether there will be a look ahead by some of the Buckeyes is going to be interesting to watch because they've all claimed they've kept their eye on the prize, starting with Ryan Day on down. I don't expect Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith to play. Be a surprise if either one of them do. But Bryson Rogers, as that game went on last week, he got warmed up. Mylan Graham, the same thing. You've got to play, like race car drivers. You got to get out on the real track and run in a real race to figure out what you're really all about. And I thought it was really good for those guys to get extended playing time last week.
Yeah, Brandon Ennis played really well last week.
Oh, yeah.
You look at the stats. It's like,
that, though, right?
6 catches for 30 yards. What are you talking about? He played great. Those were tough catches he was making. There was one where I was like, there's no way he caught that before. Yeah, he did. He caught it before it hit the ground.
First downs, baby.
He is tough as heck. He's actually now – early in the year, guys, I didn't think he was a very good punt returner because he was going like east-west too much. Now what is he doing? Going north-south. And if you're a tough guy like Brandon Ennis, quick enough, fast enough, but you're not a burner. That's what you need to do is go north-south. He's doing that. And, yeah, I think we're going to look for Max Clare is going to have a big game today. Brandon Ennis. And then, I think Bryson Rogers is going to have a big game today. It's too bad Quincy Porter's a little banged up. We'll see about him. But I agree. Mylan Graham's another guy. So look for Brandon Ennis, Max Clare, Bryson Rogers, and Mylan Graham to be the 4 guys they really target in the passing game today.
Well, here's what Rutgers has done, and I like to use kind of maybe the connection. So this is what they can hang their hat on. They've done 2 things that Ohio State has done this year. You know what they are?
No.
They've beaten OU, and they've won at Purdue. So they've done 2 things that Ohio State has done this year.
Their win over OU
that they can hang their hat on.
They barely beat the Bobcats.
They beat the Bobcats, though.
They did.
They've done 2 things that Ohio State has done.
Which is not easy to do.
So that's what Shiano is selling to his team today. The other thing, and I think Buckeye fans, listen, I don't think anyone is looking for Jeremiah or Carnell to play today. They probably shouldn't, and they probably won't. I think the question Buckeye Nation has, and I'll throw this to Tim May first, is where is the mindset on the serious nature of both injuries? What do we know, and what do we think they will be for next week?
Yeah, I think we talked about this on your show yesterday even. I mean, I'm just reading the tea leaves. The tea leaves tell me Carnell Tate's got a more serious situation going than Jeremiah Smith, and I'm under the impression that Carnell Tate's, no one has told me this. It's been the most tight-lipped injury situation I can ever remember, but just reading the tea leaves, I'm thinking he's got something in the lower leg, Carnell Tate does, that has needed more and more attention. He tried to warm up and go at Purdue and got ruled out before the game started, and then and of course he missed all last week. But the more space you can put in between something like that and playing again at full speed, the better off you are. I was under the impression that that Jeremiah Smith was dealing with some kind of quad injury, which means that can really put a hitch in your get along. You can sometimes play with that to a certain extent, but if you can rest it, the better off you are to feel more close to 100%. So quad, lower upper leg, So we'll see where that ends up going. I mean, Ryan Day has offered no specifics on it, and really no one associated with the team, players, etc., has either. Even when you try to trick them into it.
Exactly. 20 years ago, I would have been impressed with the lack of leaks.
Yeah.
This day and age, it's impressive what Coach Day's done now as a media guy. I wish there were more leaks, and my source was like, here's what's going on. They're like, I can't say anything. We've a pact. We're not going to release any of that stuff.
Yeah.
But you think someone's going to get it, and still there's nothing. I will say
what bothers you is people making up stuff about the situation.
Like saying Carnell's serving a suspension. I've heard that. I'm like, no, he's not. And I've heard, and you alluded to that. I don't know if this is what I shouldn't say you alluded to this. I've heard it might be a calf with Carnell, and they're concerned that could turn into an Achilles.
Well,
and I think you were kind of alluding to that. I don't want to.
The leg bone's connected to the knee.
Well, and we've seen it so many times in the NBA recently, right? Where guys have calf strains, and then it turns into a torn Achilles. I mean, you look at Halliburton. You look at before that Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson. There's been others where it's like they have a bad calf, and then bam, that turns into a torn Achilles.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure if that's what's going on, but that's one thing I have heard.
It's just interesting. He warmed up at least prelims at Purdue and then got ruled out. So that's what concern's not the right term there, but I mean that's an interesting development. Let's put it that way.
Listen, both opponents the last couple weeks have given them the luxury of making sure these guys are as close to 100% or 100% as they can be for next week. That's the beauty of being a great team, and it's the beauty of having that.
And everybody
luxury.
gets banged up this time of the year. I mean, Julian Sayin limped out of the game at one point last week. Went back in and stuff. But
and everybody's focused on Michigan, rightfully so. If you're a Buckeye fan, the team needs to be focused on Rutgers today. But media fans, you can look ahead. You're worried about the Buckeyes being banged up. Everybody's banged up, including Michigan. Justice Haynes looked like he was maybe the best running back in the country, maybe second behind Jeremiah Love to me, and he's out for the year. Jordan Marshall's been really good, the young man from Cincinnati Moeller. He hurt his shoulder. I have no doubt he's going to play next week because it came back negative, the X-rays.
Right.
He's really good. He's definitely not going to be 100%. So are the Buckeyes banged up? Yes. But Michigan's also, I would say Michigan's more banged up than Ohio State. So everybody's banged up in November playing a violent sport.
And Michigan's playing at Maryland today. So, what kind of test that will be remains to be seen.
Yeah,
that's true.
And as little as it may mean to people, if you're a coach, you love a home noon game before your rival game. You pack it in at 3:30, where the other team is on the road, not finishing up till 7:30 or 8 o'clock and get home. You'll take the 4-hour head start, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you'll do it, and that's
they're grabbing time everywhere you can look. I mean, they're flying up there instead of bussing.
Oh, wow.
Next week.
So the people in Bowling Green on the bridge there that wave at them as they're coming up.
They'll be waving at you, Biddle.
Oh, geez, man.
But
bring your own telescope.
But yeah, I mean,
they'll be waving at you. You're going to be driving
25 minutes, 30-minute flight as opposed to a 2.5-hour. But because believe me,
interesting.
They don't go. They get an escort to the border. Let's put it that way.
All right, so it was a little damp to start. Kickoff forecast brought to you by Sunbelt Rentals. See why the Columbus Builders building Columbus lean on green. They may not feel like it now, but it's supposed to get to right around 50 and sunny at kick. I guess we'll believe it when we see it. Winds, though, light, north to northwest, 6 miles an hour. You guys are always asking me for the cloud cover. That's at 77%. Timmy always likes to know the humidity level. That's at 63%. And it feels like 47, which is the real feeler.
But the big question, what's the dew index?
The dew point?
Dew point.
Dew point.
Dew point's important,
the dew point.
We'll bring on Paul Keels to explain that to us in a moment. When we come back, we'll have the voice of the Buckeyes, and it might be a roster check type day for him, because he's got to have them all listed today, because he might be calling a lot of guys that he hasn't called throughout the season. All right, we'll be back in moments. This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan Tailgate Show. Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places right here on the Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Riverside Bank of Dublin Game Day Traffic Center.
We've definitely seen traffic volumes pick up in the last 30 minutes or so, but still moving pretty nicely. On the northbound side of 315, you're going to start to see brake lights back up a little bit around the King Ave Medical Center exit. That's going to continue all the way up to Ackerman Road. Southbound on 315, the brake lights start right around the hospital curve. And as you get closer to Lane Avenue, you'll want to stay to the left if you need to get around that. Lane Avenue is very busy right now between High Street and Kenny Road. And don't forget, Woody Hayes Drive is closed between Cannon and Tuttle Park. With Game Day Traffic, I'm Kate Burdett on the Fan.
All the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
My toilet's clogged, backed up too. The sink is running slow. Water's backed up everywhere. Oh, please don't overflow.
Clogged drain, no problem. It's 93 or free. I'll clear any drain you don't pay with a 1-year guarantee.
It's 93 or free. Guaranteed.
Call 614-683-9911. Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
Toyotathon is on, and there's no better way to get in the spirit of the season than with a new Toyota. Now through December 1st, get 4.75 APR financing on any remaining new 25 RAV4 or RAV4 Hybrid. Or lease a new gas-powered RAV4 LE for $289 a month for 39 months with $36.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS, tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Hey, football fans, it's November in Ohio, and you know what that means. It's time to face that state up north in a battle to claim forgotten funds. Join us in the statewide challenge and visit com.ohio.gov/radio to help support Ohio's takedown of Michigan. The state with the most searches wins. Who knows? Unclaimed funds could help you buy a seat to the big game next year. Claim your money today at com.ohio.gov/radio.
Timmy Hall here, proud to be back for my 4th year supporting Nationwide Children's Hospital and Light Up the Lawn, Light Up a Life. The holidays can be tough for kids and families spending it in the hospital. So now through December 31st, more than 100 giant illuminated butterflies will shine on the hospital lawn, each one sparkling to life with every single donation. When patients see those butterflies glow, they'll know their community's thinking of them, sending waves of hope and joy. So let's do this together. Let's light up the lawn and light up a life. Donate now at nationwidechildrens.org/give.
You don't have to wait for Black Friday for good deals at Columbus Car Audio and Accessories. Save on remote starters, window tint, and all things car audio. Dash cams, Apple CarPlay, and more. Columbus Car Audio and Accessories Black Friday sale. Going on now. Morse Road, Main Street in Reynoldsburg, or columbuscaraudio.com.
Hey Columbus, it's Lorenzo Stiles Jr., Ohio State student athlete. It's football season, and just like on the field, success starts with the right game plan and the right team. That's why I'm proud to team up with Monogram Homes. They're the true custom home builder, bringing precision, creativity, and attention to every detail. just like we do on Saturdays. If you're ready to build, don't settle for standard. Go custom. Go Monogram. Visit monogramhomes.net to start building today. Monogram Homes, a builder you can trust.
When it comes to your financial game plan, make the winning play with Mutual Federal, your community bank now open in Columbus. From checking and savings to business accounts and home loans, our local team is here to help you move the ball down the field towards your financial goals. Don't sit on the sidelines. Bank with a team that's part of your community and always rooting for you. Mutual Federal, a division of First Bank Richmond, doing great things together. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Tailgates are better when your ride's rocking. Columbus Car Audio and Accessories upgrades your sound, tints your ride, and adds the extras to make your ride the ultimate game day machine.
It's Sunday Night Football on the Fan. Catch the Bucks and Rams live from L.A. Fan coverage starts Sunday at 7:30.
Sponsored by Roosters, a fun casual joint.
Your radio home of the NFL, The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Columbus, Worthington, Air, and Bryant. Doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Tailgate Show.
Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And presented by Curtis and Associates and Mountain Dew.
Your forever flagship home of Ohio State Athletics, The Fan. It's time for the Big Daddy Report with the voice of the Buckeyes, Paul Keels.
Sponsored by the Waterworks and Header Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Now together to serve you better. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
All right, welcome back to campus. Anthony Rothman, Dave Biddle, Tim May, and the voice of the Buckeyes, Paul Keels, on the stage. Good to see you, my man.
You know, I almost shed a tear knowing this is the last time we'll do this in person. Maybe you'll come do this for one of the basketball games. How's that?
Hey, anytime, man. We expect big things there, too, so hopefully it'll be a good season.
Both teams are undefeated.
That's right.
So we approach things. I asked, I had Jim Lachey on the show on Monday, and I said, boy, it seems to me you guys always played Northwestern before the Michigan game. He's like, you know what? It kind of fell that way. I don't know whether it's happenstance. And then when I had Carpenter on this week, I'm like, man, I remember you guys always playing Purdue before the Michigan game. It felt like that. And this one is certainly what it is. It's Rutgers. They're a big favorite. But how do you approach this today knowing that strategically they'll probably be getting in a lot of backups?
Well, first off, Rutgers coming off a bye weekend, and knowing how Greg Schiano operates, at least what we think how he operates, there'll be some gadgetry. They're coming off a game where they ran the ball like crazy against a Maryland defense that was like Swiss cheese, and a running back that had, 240 yards.
Yeah.
They've blocked, I think, if I've got it right, over 60 kicks since Greg Schiano and his two stints as head coach. So, special teams would be a big deal. But it's all coach speak. It's all that thing. Their focus is going to be on what they have to do today. Everybody knows what's around the corner next week. But, they've done such a good job. This is where Ryan Day and his staff, I think Anthony deserves so much credit. They've done such a good job each and every week, regardless of who the opponent is. And folks may be getting tired of hearing Ryan say it's just about us. But they've done a good job of taking care of what they need to do, not so much what is coming with the opponent.
Yep. Every football team's banged up in late November, Paul. Buckeyes are a little banged up. If Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate can't play today, obviously I think Brandon Ennis, Max Clare are headed for big days. And I think Bryson Rogers is a guy that's really popped this year. What have been your thoughts on that?
Absolutely. And it was nice to see him get in the end zone last week, Dave. And I don't know where Quincy Porter is as far as his health today, too, but he's a guy that's really gotten a lot of attention. Max Clare has given them a somewhat of a wide receiving threat at tight end, a little bit like what Darnell Sanders used to be. So if those guys can't go, and if there was some concern all week about that, hopefully Julian's saying more reps with those guys so that they could kind of get on the same wavelength. But having said all of that, Dave, this is another one of those, and again, a lot of it has to do with Rutgers and their deficiencies. Is this going to be line up and run the ball, and when you're not sure, run it again?
Yeah, absolutely. The worst worst run defense in the Big Ten. You got to at least test it, right?
Exactly.
The interesting thing, too, is Bo Jackson, to a certain extent, Isaiah West and James Peoples have shown the ability to catch the ball out of the backfield, too, and they've incorporated that much more into their offense this year than maybe since Brian Day has been here. And I think that's an interesting thing to watch, especially I think C.J. Donaldson's probably going to be cleared today to play, so he'll be back, too. But Paul, everybody thinks you just roll your helmet out there, you get a big lead, and you take everybody out, and everybody's happy, right? And but that's not necessarily always the case with it when you're playing a team like Rutgers with Greg Schiano, where they find a way occasionally to just create points on the fringes.
Yes.
Like you said, special teams, whatever. I mean, that's the thing you got to watch for in a game like this, right?
Absolutely, Tim. And I think that, people, it's easy to get caught up in the fact that Rutgers has never really given Ohio State much of a game since they've come in. I think there was a note that the last time they played, it was a 19-point margin of victory, and that was the smallest since Rutgers has come in the conference. But that was also when they were in flux with coaches and things like that. But this, everybody understands that upsets can happen. I mean, look at what almost happened to Texas A&M last week. These kind of things can happen. That's what Ryan Day has preached on. That's what these players seem to have absorbed that message very strongly, and they know that they've got to improve on their own self and their own areas that need improvement for what's lying ahead in the next weeks.
Are you surprised, because you were around Greg Schiano like we were, especially when he was here? Are you surprised they're sitting there as bad as they are on defense?
I am a little.
That is stunning.
I maybe more than a little. But I think what you're seeing, what Greg Schiano's done, first off, he's made them more competitive since he's gone back there the second time. And he's also stifled some of the rating of recruiting in New Jersey that Ohio State and other people were doing. So, Tim, it's a little surprising this year, especially considering they've gotten some consistency with their offense and with their play with Cal McManus at quarterback. So that is a little surprising, but a lot of that also comes down to who you're playing, when you're playing them, things like that. I wasn't terribly surprised that Maryland had some success offensively, but to see them run the ball the way they did. I mean, Jesus, their quarterback on the second play from scrimmage tears off a 73-yard touchdown run. I think Malik Washington is going to be a very good quarterback if Maryland can keep him. But that was, you know where I'm going. But I think
Under Armour money, man. Go ahead.
But that is surprising that they have the defensive struggles that they do.
Rutgers quarterback Cal McManus, for people that remember, he was at Minnesota. He's actually, if you could say one thing about it, he has played in here.
Yes, he has.
He got killed, but he played in here.
Yes.
So it's different than like the UCLA backup quarterback that has never experienced anything like this. So at least it's the one thing he can say is, all right, whatever it's going to be, at least I felt it before.
And they've got, Anthony, an experienced offensive line, and their wide receivers, when you think about Duff and Sheffield and Strong, they're big, tall, physical wide receivers that can make contests. If you believe what the TV announcers tell you and you're watching their last game, I think it might be Ian Strong. He was leading the nation in contested catches. I mean, Dave, who would have thought of a stat like that, keeping track of it? But, they've got guys that can do that, but we've also seen this Ohio State defense play at such a high level, and they seem each and every week, they seem to just accept the challenge to try and get better.
Big Daddy, it's a unique senior day, a small senior class. Coach Day talked about that this week. Obviously, we expected it. And there's also some guys that are fourth-year juniors. I was really curious if they would walk today. Sounds like Carson Hinsman is not walking. Doesn't mean for sure he's coming back, but that's good news if you're a Buckeye fan. I'm hearing Kenyatta Jackson's not walking today.
Okay.
Now, again, this is not confirmed. So, but it's a strange senior day, isn't it?
And I think senior day, Dave, has become so strange because of transfers, number one.
Right.
I'm blanking on the name, but remember the offensive lineman who came to Ohio State from Rutgers? He had a great year.
Jonah Jackson?
Jonah Jackson. But he goes out 1 year. Will Howard last year, the same deal. So it is a little different, but, you think about what lies ahead for these guys. Yes, they have a national championship, but they don't have gold pants. They don't have a Big Ten championship.
Right.
This program has not played in Indianapolis since the pandemic. So, but it is different the way these things kind of come together.
Yeah, Caden Curry spoke on that point. I mean,
Eli Brickhandler, he's walking on senior day.
Eli Brickhandler, who knew, right?
Yeah.
But Ethan Onion walking today.
Because I think this is his 7th year.
Yeah, his 7th or 8th year. But
7 years of college, not down the drain. He's getting paid very well.
Yeah.
But it is interesting how traditions kind of come and go. Like you said, I mean, some of these guys aren't even seniors, et cetera. Then you got Jim Tressel ringing the bell, which wasn't done this time a year ago, ringing the victory bell. But as I had him on my podcast yesterday, I called it a come hither bell, the guys. But But it is funny how traditions kind of like come and go a little bit, right, Paul? In this modern age.
And Tim, let's give it up to Ohio State for what they did this year. I think they made the changes that people really wanted to see with the game management. The timeout acknowledgments being done on that stage in the north end and not on the field.
Yeah.
The bell ringing, and think about the people that have rung the bell this year, and think about who might be the next people next year to ring the bell. I mean, the list of former Ohio State football of former Ohio State football greats is impressive. I mean, wouldn't you love to see Pete Johnson, Brian Bashnagel, Rex Kern, people like that come out and ring the bell, Troy Smith. So, hats off to Ohio State for what they've done. They took a lesson from the playoff game last year, but they listened to what the fans had to say.
Yeah, it's a very cool tradition that they've started. It's great irony in that most coaches would never talk about a victory before it happened. So ringing the victory bell before the game was a little interesting for fans to understand.
It was. You're right, Anthony. It was.
But it does say vigor.
Yes.
On the tower.
Listen to the bell, Rutgers. It tolls for thee.
I like come hither. I like come hither.
So far, so good. At first I was like, ringing the victory bell before you.
Well, what happens is, Paul,
so far, so good.
Paul, this is what you have to have. You have to have this be a complete. You can't go undefeated forever, right? You don't want to be the first victory bell ringer before the game where the game doesn't go Ohio State's way. So you got to be that guy.
Right.
Well, yeah. But it is one of the cathedrals of college football, and they'll ring the bell to bring you to the cathedral and ring the bell as you're leaving. So I told Jim Trussell.
All you need is a little incense now.
Exactly. I said you get a little practice there. You could be at a Salvation Army kettle one of these days.
Goodness.
Well done. Enjoy senior day,
Thank you, guys.
And the last
Have
home
a
game
good day.
for Ohio State this year, but plenty of work to come. The Paul Keels segment sponsored by The Waterworks, heating, cooling, and plumbing, now together to serve you better. All right, could be anybody that will shine in the shoe today. We'll discuss that when we come back on the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan Tailgate Show right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Riverside Bank of Dublin Game Day Traffic Center.
It's a bit busier on the roadways right now, but things are still moving. 315 northbound, a little bit slow as you approach the Lane Avenue exit. On the southbound side, it's the same story on 315. Lane Avenue is busy between High Street and Kenny Road. Kenny has picked up some traffic between Lane Avenue and Kinnear. Same story on Olentangy River Road. A little bit busy between Lane and Kinnear. And don't forget, Woody Hayes Drive is closed between Cannon and Tuttle Park. With Game Day Traffic, I'm Kate Burdett on The Fan.
Taking out the trash. Hey, Columbus, this is Zach Bourne. And Jacoby Bourne. When it comes to waste service, you want a team that knows how to deliver under pressure, just like Saturdays in the fall.
At Bourne Brothers Waste Services, our team is built on toughness, teamwork, and consistent execution.
We're the most reliable and customer service-focused waste company in Central Ohio.
Whether it is recycling, trash, construction waste, roll-off containers, front loads, or compactors, we have it handled.
Call now or visit BourneBrothers.com and let us tackle your waste needs.
Taking out the trash.
When you're building a single-family house, multi-unit house, townhouse, penthouse, row house, or tiny house, lean on green. Sunbelt Rentals. The Columbus builders who are building Columbus do. They know they can rent the right equipment at the right price right now, thanks to the largest rental fleet and most rental locations in Columbus. All powered by people for equipment know-how, support, transport, and training. So no matter what you've got going in or going up, lean on green. Sunbelt Rentals. Learn more at sunbeltrentals.com.
Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
My furnace stopped working. Your competition said it's fried. When I saw their cost to replace it, I could have just died.
We can give a second opinion, give you options and advice. We'll strive to earn your trust and make you a client for life.
Get a free second opinion, replace or repair.
Call 614-683-9911. Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
Hi, I'm Laura De Leon, president of Key Bank in Central Ohio. At Key, we're all about helping our neighbors. As your bank, we understand that we have both the ability and the responsibility to help our neighbors thrive. Whether they're trying to buy a car to take them to their new job, or tackle debt that feels unmanageable, or simply trying to do more with what they have, Key Bank is there to meet them in that moment. Key Bank opens doors.
All credit products are subject to credit approval. Key Bank, member FDIC. Here's a stat that hurts. The average adult waits up to 2 years before getting help for joint or back pain. 2 years of sitting out, 2 years of missing the game. At Ortho Neuro, you don't have to wait. Our orthopedic and spine experts treat every joint issue, often without surgery, and we've got next day appointments ready. Don't sit on the sidelines another day. Schedule your consult now at orthoneuro.com. Ortho Neuro, for every motion in life.
Austin and Berm are back with a new daily podcast, the ultimate OSU football insiders. You know, it's refreshing to have some smart people working here from time to time.
The Beat with Austin and Berm on the 10 TV Plus app.
Subscribe today. Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. This is the Fans Game Day Scoreboard.
This game day update is sponsored by Mutual Federal, proudly serving Columbus with personal and business solutions at mutualfederal.com.
And I'm Cole Bartimus. Big noon kickoff is back in town, so we are counting down to 12 o'clock when Ohio State and Rutgers get underway in the shoe. We got pregame coverage all morning long right here on the Fan. And as soon as this game is over, it is immediately Michigan week. Elsewhere around the country, not going to lie, a bit of a dog slate in college football today. But we got a couple good ones on deck. Number 22, Missouri, and number 8, Oklahoma will get going at noon live from Norman. The Sooners are coming off a statement victory versus Alabama last week, and now they're in the driver's seat to host a playoff game. And at 3:30, we got an important game in the Big Ten. Number 15, USC, is in Eugene taking on number 7, Oregon. If the Trojans win this one, they can completely redirect the playoff implications for both of these teams. And we got one more to look out for. Down I-71, number 11, BYU's in Cincinnati. Don't let the rankings fool you. The odds makers say this one will be close.
That was one hell of a game, huh?
Start ringing that victory bell. This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Tailgate Show.
Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And presented by Curtis and Associates and Mountain Dew.
Your home for Ohio State athletics. The Fan. He's so money.
Sponsored by Kemba Financial Credit Union.
All right, back at it. This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan Tailgate Show. Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. Anthony Rothman, Tim May, and Dave Biddle. So the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers, they've been searching for some kind of formula on defense, and as we talked about already, it's just not working out this year. They're last in FBS in yards per play allowed. They grade out as barely a top 100 defensive team in the country, and on paper, Ohio State should have any way they want with them today, but we know that there's different mindsets going into this game. And listen, Ryan Day has not been afraid of running plays and keeping the script little not vanilla-like. Today, it just feels like it's the vanilla script. And it fits the strategy of the game. It fits what's next week. It's kind of like if he could have a running clock, he would love it. Like, it has that feeling. However, if he is playing, like those receivers that we've talked about in the backups, trying to build that chemistry, because we finally got a glimpse, not that we'd want to get comfortable with any of it, life without Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith for a brief period of time. And so building the chemistry with these guys, if something would happen down the road, somebody re-aggravates something, is fairly important.
Yeah, and with Julian being a little banged up, obviously he's okay. I mean, even if he was 100% healthy, and I'm sure he's close to that. Again, as soon as you get a lead in this game or you feel like the game is over, Michigan week starts right then. So they're going to get Julian out of that game fast if it holds the script. And Lincoln Kienholz has been playing well. And, yeah, I think getting some timing down just in case next week one of the two receivers can't go or both. I think they'll both play against Michigan, meaning Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith. I am very confident at least one will play. But you got to get some more timing with Bryson Rogers, who I think is going to have a big day today. Mylan Graham has not been all that impressive, but I still believe in him. Max Clare's been out there all year. Brandon Ennis has been out there all year. But a guy like Bryson Rogers especially, and Mylan Graham, yeah, it is important to get that chemistry down.
Yeah, Mylan Graham got going a little bit last week. After,
he did.
Bottom line is, it wasn't pretty. The first two possessions of the second half last week, without either of those guys on the field, we're talking about Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith, was not pretty. And we saw Julian Sayin getting to know Bryson Rogers and Mylan Graham.
He's like, I can't just throw it up, and my 6'4" receiver is going to come down with it.
In a real game, yeah. But I mean, why wouldn't you be accustomed to throwing a back shoulder to Jeremiah Smith and him making a move on it? He threw one to, I think it was Bryson Rogers, and if I remember correctly, and Bryson never had a chance at the ball, whereas now wait a minute, you had a little brain, what do they call it, a brain burp. I used the other term, a brain burp.
Brain fart.
No, I said burp.
Oh, okay.
You had a brain
I've never
burp
heard that one.
where, I know, because I didn't want to use the other term like you just did, where maybe you forgot that wasn't Jeremiah. Or maybe you forgot that wasn't Jeremiah Smith out there. Yeah. So we saw Julian Sayin grow, getting used to having these guys. So that was a big, that was a big 30 minutes of football in my opinion, just to get used to these other guys. We always talk about how deep the wide receiver room is. You still got to play some to get the groove on.
And Lincoln
now,
looks
you go ahead and
good
say
to me.
some more dirty words.
Well, yeah, because fart's a very dirty word.
7 dirty words.
Poot.
We can definitely get away with some of those. But, Lincoln has looked really good. Remember there was a lot of talk if Devin Brown needed to go in last year? It's he looked all right. Lincoln looks really good to me. Now, obviously, you want to keep Julian Sayin healthy as Ross Bjork, the best AD in the country, comes over here to say hi to us.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was that a paid?
What's up? No, that was not paid. He hired Mike Elko at A&M. Now he's here for the national champion Buckeyes. I think Ross Bjork's doing a fantastic job. I completely lost my train of thought there.
Can't hear you, man.
So, Lincoln Kienholz. I tell you what, this guy is legit for a backup quarterback. He goes in there. He's running over people. He's throwing the ball. He's got a better completion percentage than Julian Sayin.
Yeah, I know.
I'm mostly I joked on Twitter last week. Quarterback controversy, totally kidding. I still think Julian Sayin's going to win the Heisman over Mendoza. But right now, Mendoza's the favorite. But
I walked out of the building Wednesday night. Billy Fessler had me walk out at the same time, and I told him, man, Lincoln Kienholz is looking good. I mean, and you can see the difference in him from a throwing aspect and a lot. And plus, he's a more mature player. Yeah, I think anybody would like to see a lot of him possibly today for all kinds of reasons. But you talked about that a couple of weeks ago, and I go, you don't necessarily sacrifice this guy's season just to get somebody some playing time. But when you consider how little bit of playing time Lincoln Kienholz has had in real games, it's a pretty stark contrast. So more they could get him today, I think, the better for the team. But I think he is a different looking guy. Don't you agree?
Definitely.
The way he throws the ball, I mean.
Definitely. And we know he is a natural, not good athlete, fantastic athlete. He was obviously the USA Today National Male Athlete of the Year. Not for small schools. No, there was one that won it. It was Lincoln Kienholz because he's fantastic. I still imagine he could be a good baseball player right now at Ohio State. He just tears up the Cardell Jones Softball Classic every year. He was a really good basketball player too. And it turns out, and this kid still has 2 years after this one. Now, hopefully the Buckeyes keep him. But if he does transfer, that's going to be a really good get for somebody. And to have him as the backup quarterback is a nice luxury. Having Julian Sayin as the starter is a supreme luxury. He's the most accurate quarterback I have ever seen. He had a bad week last week. Bad week for him. Over 70%.
The Heisman conversation is interesting because I think no matter what happens, everybody thinks it's about that day and that night in Indianapolis.
I do.
Even though it's, winning the Heisman is not necessarily, it's one guy, you can't control everything. So if Mendoza plays well and Indiana loses, do you suddenly give it to Sayin because Ohio State won? No, Sayin would have to play really well.
And would have to play well against Michigan, too.
Yeah, right. And we assume that.
Well, this is how knee-jerk the thing can be anymore. I mean, I've voted on it since 1984, and everybody, after suddenly Indiana finding that come from behind march at Penn State, even though Mendoza had an average, below-average game, suddenly he had a Heisman moment. Well, he kind of dug that hole, and now he's filling it. He was filling it back in, but people are going to remember the last thing these two guys do. If in fact it is I think it is going to be a 1-2 between those two guys. I really truly believe that.
And hopefully most of the Heisman voters wait till after that game because they don't
Saturday night's going to be huge.
They can turn their Heisman ballots in before then. I think that should be a rule. If you're a Heisman voter, you cannot turn it in until after.
I agree 100%.
And a lot of the Heisman voters that I've seen, I've talked about, I'm going to wait till after that game. But I was thinking, that's good that you're going to do that. Why is that even an option? Well, why would you even be able to vote before Mendoza and Sayin go head-to-head?
Here's what's funny about it.
Makes no sense at all.
Here's what's funny about it. You used to have to vote by mail, and it had to be postmarked by, I think it was I think it was by the end of the day on Monday before the Heisman thing. So people were sending in their ballots 2 and 3 weeks ahead of time. Now it's all electronic, and you can vote for the Heisman now in about 25 seconds.
Yeah. Well, it's technically, I mean, I thought for years it was a regular season award, which
it
made
is.
People want to, right, but we're adding a conference championship game as a tiebreaker for a season award.
And the conference champion, it's kind of like, it's postseason, but it's not the playoffs. Like, how, and they do the Heisman after that. So, like,
the reason I bring it up
it's supposed to count.
is because, and this is their fault, but it's Notre Dame doesn't have an extra game for Jeremiah Love, and he could use an extra game for Heisman votes for sure. And yet, listen, I understand it's a head-to-head game, and it's a great tiebreaker for a lot of people, but it's supposed to be a body of work. And
the bottom line is, I mean, Ezekiel Elliott should have won the Heisman in 2014 if you took into account what happened in the postseason.
That's true.
And by then, it was long gone. It was long gone.
That's true.
But the point is, it's always been tradition. It's part of the tradition of college football, which people don't seem to have trouble desecrating anymore. But it's part of the building up to the Christmas season in downtown New York City. You're right. I mean, it should be a post, because now, last year, I would have put Will Howard in contention for the Heisman Trophy at the end of the season. I'm talking about when he won the national championship. He was the best quarterback in college football the last 4 games of the year.
I've almost said he almost turned it not as good as what Joe Burrow was. He almost turned into like a pseudo Joe Burrow in the playoffs. Just his accuracy, he'd get first downs when he needed it with the legs. Like, again, not as good as Joe Burrow, but those 4 games, Will Howard, I was thinking there was a good chance, guys, he was going to be a second-day draft pick, like second or third round. Boy, was I wrong on that. He fell to the 6th round. I think that was a great pick by the Steelers.
Yep.
I also never would have guessed that Jack Sawyer would have fell to the 4th round, but he did. But, yeah, man, Will Howard
I'm just saying
did a great job in the CFP last year.
I'm just alluding to what Anthony's talking about is that it should be a whole season award now, because there are so many guys that step up. Ashton Genty, I thought, had a hell of a year last year. They get beat, in the playoffs, but they put in a hell of a game. So, that was legit. But Travis Hunter, Colorado, I think he was a hell of a player, but who'd they play? Who'd they beat?
Yeah, he'd never left the field. I still think.
I agree.
Chris Gamble should have been more.
Chris Gamble.
Exactly, and no one compared Travis Hunter to Chris. I was always like, Chris Gamble's the best comparison for Travis Hunter, and Chris Gamble should have absolutely been more of a Heisman candidate in 2002.
Drink a lot of water. Drink a lot of water.
That's right. A lot of pickle juice.
Listen, the competition is the big part of it. It's, because it's always been, for the most part, a stat award. And if you're playing lesser teams, your stats can be very, very good. So I like when you get some even competition, and then you see how they do in the biggest games.
But it's really evolved.
Games.
It's really evolved, because back when it was going on back in the 60s and 70s, it was an accumulation award of how you did a couple of years before, like Archie got it going, his sophomore year big time, and then, he really ran that snowball. But the bottom line is an accumulation award. Now it's like Julian. We're talking about Julian Sayin being a legitimate Heisman Trophy candidate, and he will have played 11 games after today.
Go back. I've had fortunate enough to do the Hall of Fame interviews on my show, and I've had Tony Dorsett on. He's like, Archie stole that Heisman from me. Chuck Muncie feels like Ricky Bell. Those guys are like, have you seen my stats compared to Archie's? That year in 75? He's like, how in the world did he win it?
That's Tim's point. Like, Archie probably should have won it as a sophomore, but then won it as a junior, and then maybe should have won it as a senior, but did. I mean, there's other examples, too, of it being
crazy.
Like
hey, Archie won it. Archie won it, and Woody wouldn't even let him score touchdowns. He put Pete in.
I still say Keith Byers.
Champ or Pete.
And Tim knows this better than Keith Byers should have won the Heisman in 1984.
Yeah.
Those guys were money, and he's so
Doug
money.
Flutie just keeps his Heisman for him.
Yeah. Pretty big moment. He's so money, sponsored by Kemba Financial Credit Union. When we come back, all right, they got to play one of the worst. Well, they got to play the worst running defense in the Big Ten last week. I think it was UCLA, and now Rutgers is maybe the worst in the country at run defense. This should set up pretty well for that O-line today. Jim Lachey will jump on next. It's the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan Tailgate Show right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Riverside Bank of Dublin Game Day Traffic Center.
Traffic is moving. There's just a lot of it right now. Lane Avenue is pretty much stop and go from High Street to Kenny Road. 315 northbound is busy from the 670 merge all the way up to Ackerman Road. Southbound 315 is getting busy at the hospital curve, and some of those brake lights are continuing down to Kinnear Road. Olentangy River Road is pretty crowded between Lane and Kinnear. Kenny Road, same story. The Lane to Kinnear corridor is getting very busy right now. With Game Day Traffic, I'm Kate Burdett on The Fan.
Toyota-thon is on, and there's no better way to get in the spirit of the season than with a new Toyota. Like the family-size Highlander and the bigger, more powerful Grand Highlander. Now through December 1st, you can get 4.75 APR financing on any remaining new 25 Highlander or Grand Highlander, including hybrid models, with approved credit through TFS. Plus, you get Toyota Care 2 years, no-cost maintenance. For complete details, go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Bobcat Enterprises says thank you for your support as they celebrate 50 years of serving the construction industry. Established in 1975 in Cincinnati, Bobcat Enterprises has expanded to 9 stores to meet you where you are in Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana. Find equipment for any construction project, including compact track loaders and excavators. Plus, Bobcat Enterprises rents compact equipment and attachments. Find current specials and locations at bobcatent.com or follow Bobcat Enterprises Inc. on Facebook. Bobcat Enterprises, 50 years working for you.
If you haven't felt the rush of the holiday season, trust me, it's coming. Eric Reeser here. Get your body ready for all the tailgating and all the turkey at Hydrate Me Med Spa. They've got 4 convenient locations in Central Ohio, offering medical-grade IV and aesthetic treatments to help you look and feel your best during the hustle and bustle. I dropped into their Dublin location for an ozone therapy treatment. They infused my blood with medical-grade ozone that gave me a much-needed energy boost and properly prepared my immune system to tackle cold days and crowded stadiums. Look great, feel great today. Book your drip at hydratememedspa.com.
Hi, Bob Capace from Worthington Jewelers. Coming up, more football talk on The Fan.
That's right, Bob. And just like our hometown team, Worthington Jewelers is all about tradition, family, and winning moments.
Celebrate your victories with us, your hometown jeweler, Worthington Jewelers.
Did you know that Byers Airport Subaru is the oldest Subaru retailer in the entire country? And just like a veteran quarterback, we've been delivering winning drives for generations right here by the airport. During the 2025 Subaru Share the Love event, trade in your car for a new 2025 Subaru Outback for 0% for up to 36 months, and Subaru will donate $250 for every vehicle leased or purchased this month. Kick off your next adventure at ColumbusSubaru.com. Subject to credit approval, financing offer term up to 36 months on 2025 Subaru Outback. Cannot be combined with any other incentives. See dealer for details. Offer ends 12/1/25.
Buckeyes, the 2025 football season is here, and that means 3 things: football, game day, and smooth Jameson whiskey. Whether you're catching the game at home, at your neighborhood bar, or soaking up the team spirit at a tailgate, Jameson Ginger and Lime and Ohio State Athletics are a winning combo. So cheers to making game days even better with the official whiskey of the fans. Jameson, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Taste responsibly.
Jameson Irish Whiskey, product of Ireland. 40% alcohol by volume, 80 proof. Copyright 2025, imported by John Jameson Import Company, New York, New York.
When it comes to your financial game plan, make the winning play with Mutual Federal, your community bank now open in Columbus. From checking and savings to business accounts and home loans, our local team is here to help you move the ball down the field towards your financial goals. Don't sit on the sidelines. Bank with a team that's part of your community and always rooting for you. Mutual Federal, a division of First Bank Richmond, doing great things together. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
We're back to football talk, but before we kick off, a quick thanks to Bob and the team at Worthington Jewelers.
Thanks, Common Man. Whether it's game day or every day, we're here to help you celebrate life's biggest moments.
Worthington Jewelers, your hometown jeweler.
What he said.
Austin and Berm are back with a new daily podcast, the ultimate OSU football insiders. You know, it's refreshing to have some smart people working here from time to time.
The Beat with Austin and Berm on the 10 TV Plus app.
Subscribe today. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We're looking at mostly sunny skies here for today. If you're heading out for the Buckeyes game, we're tracking temperatures in the upper 40s to lower 50s here by this afternoon. Winds will be less than 10 miles per hour here for today. And then more sunshine by tomorrow with highs in the mid-50s here for your Sunday afternoon. But we are tracking some changes as we head into next week as we see rain arriving for Tuesday, followed by some much colder temperatures with highs only in the 30s here by Thanksgiving Day. That's a look at your 10 weather impact forecast. I'm meteorologist Aaron White here on 97.1 The Fan.
Hold on to your butts. Rivalry Week is coming.
Sponsored by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers.
Starting on Monday, we get you ready for, The Fan.
Bring the energy.
It's game day, Buckeye fans. You're listening to the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Tailgate Show.
Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And presented by Curtis & Associates and Mountain Dew.
Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan. It's time to check in with Buckeye color analyst and president of the Large Hand Society, Jim Lachey.
Sponsored by Ohio State Army ROTC. Leadership starts here. Visit arotc.osu.edu.
No doubt about it. When the stage tips right, we know our man is here. He is the former All-American Jim Lachey. Good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you guys, too. Last one, huh?
Last home game, but a lot of work to be done still, so that'll be fun. So it's public knowledge now. Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith will both sit today. So the extent of the injuries, we don't know. Your feeling on that specifically, and just the sharpness versus getting them ready. You were a former player. You understand what it means to be playing at full strength, especially in a rivalry game. It's a luxury they have, I think, to sit them. If this was the Michigan game, would they be going today?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think they would. They would try to go. I mean, tape an aspirin on it, make it happen. But, not to discourage Rutgers, but, this team's got big goals, and they got to take care of business. And I think everybody understands that. But no one's 100%. That's a myth. I mean, you're about 98% after the first practice. Everything kind of hurts a little bit, and then it kind of slowly goes down there. And if you can maintain in that 80% range, you'll be good to go. So, I mean, no one's 100%. No one's feeling great. You got 10 games underneath your belt. You got some physical practices, so everybody's banged up a little bit.
Some stuff you can play with, some you can't.
Well, you just don't want to continue to injure. I mean, play with broken fingers. You can play with, things, sprains, strains, bruises. But when you get muscular-type injuries and strains and things like that, you got to be careful so you don't, hurt it to make it worse. But we've got a great training staff here at Ohio State, as you know. Our doctors have been fantastic. They'll make sure that those guys, before they clear, that they got a chance to finish the ball game. But two great receivers. Now it's time for the next man up. I mean, that's a real thing too. Next man up. I mean, you can talk about it, coaches, and you're sitting there on that second team, like, man, when am I going to get in this game? And boom, your chance comes, and now you got that opportunity to go out there and play. And when you look at Ohio State, Brandon Ennis stepped up last week at wide receiver. I think you'll continue to see that. Max Clare, you might see him lined up a little bit more in slot. Obviously Mylan Graham stepped in last week. You'll see maybe a little bit of Phillip Bell. We'll see. I mean, he's a guy that's a young guy. He's still got a lot of things to learn, but shows some promise and has. Dave Adolph, a senior wide receiver, senior day for him. What a great way to celebrate your senior day, to go out there and play some actual wide receivers with the first team offense. So there's some options out there for him, and obviously lean on the running game. Those guys have some fresh legs. They've done a good job with load management all year long. C.J. Donaldson appears to be ready to go again this week, so lean on that running attack. And when you're playing Rutgers, who likes to, time of possession, 33 minutes a game, they're averaging. Ohio State's at 33. We might be done by 3 o'clock. This could be a quick one. 9 possessions each ball game. And
not with those 3-minute timeouts.
Just keep moving it on.
That sounds good to me. Bryson Rogers is another one that always impresses me. I think he's going to have a big day today. And, Jim, you mentioned Brandon Ennis. It's such a unique story. Like, he had 14 receptions last year, had a solid year as a sophomore. It's pretty rare at Ohio State to see a guy who's never been a starter before, going into his junior year, be named captain. It says a lot about his toughness, his leadership, and now we're seeing it. I mean, 6 catches for 30 yards, it doesn't even do it justice, the toughness and the good hands he has.
The things that he can do. A former quarterback in high school, he can, throw the football if he needs to, can run the ball, can run after a catch, all those type of things. So, yeah, he has been impressive. And, You're right. You think, how does this guy end up being the captain of all those guys? But you see him out in practice, and you see him in around the facility. He's just a guy that people lean on. That they go for him.
Watch him block.
He's got those qualities. He's just a leader, and that's great to see. Him get some opportunities here, and then towards the end of the year when guys are banged up, somebody else has to step up. But you're right. There's plenty of options for this team to go to.
Yeah, I was going to say. I mean, he made some huge plays last year. I mean, he didn't have a whole lot of catches, but he had some huge catches, especially in that playoff run. I want to ask you this, Jim. We've talked about this. We hit on this nail for weeks now and stuff. Are they settled at right guard now, or is that still a juggling match? I mean, how would you describe it? I mean, Tegra Chabot will probably get the start again today. Gabe Fensickle looked pretty good last week and stuff. What do you see going on there?
Yeah, I think last week was the first week that, Tegra didn't get the majority of the reps. You saw Gabe Van Sickle come in and get the majority of the reps right there. Josh Padilla appears to be, a guy that's back in the fold. Where will he play? How will they fit him into this?
Right.
But I don't think it's settled by no means. And, no one wants to, obviously by week 11 you would like to have somebody have that thing figured out.
I was going to say, is that troublesome to you?
I think that, they have depth there, and they're going to use that depth and, keep everybody fresh. Coach Day talked about back in August, guys having dual roles, being able to function at right tackle or right guard, to be able to go left guard, left tackle. And I think having that ability to have guys move in and out, that way if you have some injuries, guys can, step in and have some playing time underneath your belt. But ideally, you're right. You would like to have one guy take it and go with it all year and stay healthy and be fine. But we know that's not the case in football.
Hey, Dave brought this up a while ago. Senior day isn't like it used to be. I mean,
yeah, I know.
You got junior, fourth-year juniors. You got 6-year players. I mean, running around. You don't know who's going to actually run out there. And
hopefully Carson Hinsman comes back next year. I hear he's not walking
good
today. I was like,
Kenyatta Jackson's not on that list, so that's good news.
But when you were gone, you were gone. I mean, you understand what I'm saying. It is an interesting time the way they put football teams together now, isn't it? And
it is.
Guys come and go.
It's a whole different thing, I mean, for us it was, that was, if you didn't get redshirted, you knew in 4 years your eligibility was over. It was complete. It was time to move on. There was no other options. But, now we've seen guys play 4, 5, 6, sometimes 7. And then there's some 3-year guys, that probably aren't coming back, so this will be their final game in the Horseshoe, but we can't celebrate them because they are, just juniors or third-year guys. So, that it is a little bit different than it has been in the past, but it is. It's kind of anticlimactic because, you spend so much time here and you're dreaming about, getting a chance to go to Ohio State. That dream comes true. You're here. All of a sudden you're a freshman and you look up and you see those seniors going through like, wow, I can't believe, blah, blah, blah. And then you're sophomore and you're getting a little bit closer to it. And then you're junior, like, man, next year I'm here. And then all of a sudden you got your last game. And, I'm fortunate I had some opportunities post Ohio State to continue my football career, but for a lot of guys, high school, it's it, and then if you're fortunate enough to go to college, boom, that's it, and then maybe you get an opportunity to go in the NFL, but it's even whenever you have to quit and give it up, it's always going to be hard, but this is a chance to really recognize the parents, the families, all the people that put a lot of expense traveling back and forth to see their kids play, honor them a little bit, and then to salute the seniors. The best way to do it is go out there and get a W at the end of the day, and that's what they're focused on right now against the Scarlet Knights.
Yep, stay undefeated, and then look ahead to the game.
Did the point spreads change at all, Anthony? I know
today.
You watch it a lot.
Yeah, I really do. It's right around 33.
So it hadn't moved.
Yeah, I don't think it's really moved.
I think most people anticipate it.
Yeah,
Jimmy, it's a very tough one to call because, and the reason it's kind of stayed that way, because they're not sure whether Rutgers could kind of. Right. Play to the wisp, play to the bell, where Ohio State's going to kind of pack it in a little bit. So
I think Rutgers offensively, their quarterback's probably the most experienced since Illinois' quarterback. Mm-hmm. So I think they have some ability to make some plays.
It's actually dipped a little bit, so 31.5 right now currently.
Yeah, it's still kind of the hook out there. You don't want to mess with that.
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
That's the
whatever that is.
These are the kind of games.
I heard these guys talk about that.
These are the kind of games that a lot of even guys that do it a lot, like you stay away from these. Right. These ones are hard to predict because everybody expects Ohio State to blow them out.
Fish hook.
And they could blow them out for a half, And then here comes Rutgers again. So you
the
never
under
know.
is interesting to me. Is it still 55?
53.5.
Oh, it has dropped to 53. I still don't think. I still think the under is a good play today.
Hey, talking about senior days, how about Jerry Emick? I mean, this is going to be his last game here too. So I mean, Jerry's been a great friend for the program for a lot of years. I know he helps us out tremendously in what he's been able to do. So. Looking forward to celebrating with Jerry. They're handing out Buckeyes once you get to the press box, and you're supposed to take that Buckeye and give it to Jerry. He's got a big pile.
That's awesome.
starting to collect over there. He looks like a squirrel right now with all the Buckeyes he has.
Very cool.
Hope he doesn't roast him. Hope he doesn't roast him either.
The pop.
It's like a scene out of Officer and a Gentleman. Walk up the steps, give him the Buckeye. Jim, thanks a lot.
All right,
man.
thanks, guys.
We'll see you soon. That is our guy, Jim Lachey. Presented by Ohio State Army, ROTC. Leadership starts here. Visit arotc.osu.edu. All right, it is the final tune-up for the game, and we'll peek ahead a little bit when we come back. This is the Curtis & Associates Fan Tailgate Show. Remember, they don't get paid unless you get paid right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Riverside Bank of Dublin Game Day Traffic Center.
Starting to see the brake lights pick up on 315 northbound from the King Ave Medical Center exit all the way through Ackerman Road on the southbound side of 315. Things start to get busy right around the hospital curve, and that's going to continue down to about Kinnear Road. On Lane Avenue, it is very slow between High Street and Kenny Road. Kenny is crowded between Lane and Kinnear, and Olentangy River Road has quite a bit of volume between Lane and Kinnear. With game day traffic, I'm Kate Burdett on The Fan.
Hey, Columbus, this is Zach Bourne. And Jacoby Bourne. When it comes to waste service, you want a team that knows how to deliver under pressure, just like Saturdays in the fall.
At Bourne Brothers Waste Services, our team is built on toughness, teamwork, and consistent execution.
We're the most reliable and customer service-focused waste company in Central Ohio.
Whether it is recycling, trash, construction waste, roll-off containers, front loads, or compactors, we have it handled.
Call now or visit bournebrothers.com and let us tackle your waste needs.
Taking out the trash.
Toyotathon is on, and there's no better way to get in the spirit of the season than with a new Toyota. Now through December 1st, get 2.99 APR financing on remaining new 25 Tacomas. Excludes TRD Pro and Trail Hunter. Or lease a well-equipped 25 Tacoma SR5 for $259 a month for 39 months with $39.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS, tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Give me a mountain with lots to do. Give me the sunshine, give me a dew. Give me something simple and true. All I need is sunshine and a cool, refreshing mountain dew. So give me my good days, give me a dew.
Grab some friends and an ice-cold Mountain Dew today.
Mountain Dew.
Our clients deserve for us to care, and they deserve to feel serviced. They have questions, and they deserve answers. We're counselors first because I'm not selling them anything. I'm trying to teach clients how to protect themselves. At Curtis & Associates, we're personal injury attorneys. We've helped and continue to help hundreds and hundreds of clients every year. That's important to us. If you've been injured in an accident and it's not your fault, call now. 614-GOT-HURT. That's 614-GOT-HURT. Curtis & Associates, attorneys who care.
Drive your dream car home today, no matter your credit history. Hey, it's Phil here at Capital Ford of Columbus and Whitehall. We proudly accept all credit types, good, bad, or none. Get pre-approved in minutes and hit the road with confidence. Get your new ride today. Call 614-861-7150 or shop our huge selection online at capitalfordofcolumbus.com. Your perfect ride is credit ready and waiting at Capital Ford of Columbus.
You don't have to wait for Black Friday to get good deals at Columbus Car Audio and Accessories. Shop early anytime this week and save on remote starters to warm yourself up, window tint to add style and privacy, and all things car audio to make your ride louder and better than the rest. Plus, check out deals on dash cams, Apple CarPlay, paint protection film, and more. Shop for yourself or everyone on your list at Columbus Car Audio and Accessories Black Friday sale. Going on now. Morse Road near Easton, Main Street in Reynoldsburg, or online at columbuscaraudio.com.
Always and forever your Ohio State flagship station.
WBNS FM HD1 Columbus.
The Fan, Ohio's sports destination. This is the Fan's Game Day Scoreboard.
This Game Day update is sponsored by Mutual Federal, proudly serving Columbus with personal and business solutions at mutualfederal.com.
And I'm Cole Bartimus. Big noon kickoff is back in town, so we are counting down to 12 o'clock when Ohio State and Rutgers get underway in the shoe. We got pregame coverage all morning long right here on the Fan. And as soon as this game is over, it is immediately Michigan week. Elsewhere around the country, not going to lie, a bit of a dog slate in college football today. But we got a couple good ones on deck. Number 22, Missouri, and number 8, Oklahoma will get going at noon live from Norman. The Sooners are coming off a statement victory versus Alabama last week, and now they're in the driver's seat to host a playoff game. And at 3:30, we got an important game in the Big Ten. Number 15, USC, is in Eugene taking on number 7, Oregon. If the Trojans win this one, they can completely redirect the playoff implications for both of these teams. And we got one more to look out for. Down I-71, number 11, BYU's in Cincinnati. Don't let the rankings fool you. The odds makers say this one will be close.
Don't it feel good when your crowd behind you? You know what I'm saying?
You're listening to the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Tailgate Show.
Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And presented by Curtis and Associates and Mountain Dew.
Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan.
Wait, what?
All right, back at it. Yeah, we're on the air, folks.
You and I are.
Yeah, you and I are.
Tim's kissing babies,
Tim's,
shaking hands, signing autographs. Listen, when you're around Tim May,
it's you guys, man.
You have to understand you're around a legend, you're around a celebrity, and things like that are going to happen.
Yeah. I'm not going to argue with that.
He brings us Sharpie everywhere he goes.
Yeah.
Because he's so sick of people asking for his autograph and not having the Sharpie.
That's why I have to recycle my shirts. Leave the top off.
Well, I did see, you talked me out of it, so I texted Tim last night, but we should just go shirtless. It's a final show.
Yeah.
He goes, okay, good idea. You first. Okay.
It's kind of a trend that's going on
you
now.
You called my bluff. Oh,
I'll be behind you guys.
Doing it. Yeah.
I'll be behind you guys every step of the way.
I'm cold, even bundled all up. I'm too much of a wuss to do the shirtless.
You know, it's that weird kind of chill today. You know, that dampness in the air, and it's not really cold, but it feels cold.
It's a little better now that the sun's trying to peek out. We'll take this for November 22nd, Columbus, Ohio.
I like to be honest about things. The atmosphere here is lacking.
Well, I did see last night.
Slow build.
I was looking at the box score, like with the updated football power index said about like who's going to win the game, and they gave Ohio State like a 98.9% chance of winning the game. Like, so Rutgers has a chance, and then it said cheapest ticket available on the secondary market, $15 for this game, and I'm like
for the final home game.
I'm like $15. I'm like, you could probably wait and get it for $5, but you're going to pay $40 for parking regardless.
Well, you pay more for the fees than you will. You'll pay more for the fees than you will for the ticket.
That's true.
Before you know it, it's going to turn into a canned goods game.
Yeah.
You know,
it's kind of
like,
it is around Thanksgiving. Bring in some.
It's like getting a room.
Corn,
Why
it's
not?
like getting a room in Vegas. During the week, it's $39 for the room and $40 for the resort.
I always love going to Vegas during the week.
Ross is going to come back over and say, "Do not throw those ideas out there, guys. We're trying to raise money."
All right, as long as we're mentioning dampness, kickoff forecast brought to you by Sunbelt Rentals. See why the Columbus Builders building Columbus lean on green. No guarantee, but we're expecting 49 degrees and sunny at kick at noon. 50 is the high, so we'll be right around the high at kick. Winds light, 6 miles an hour. We'll feel like about 47. So, like you said, not a bad day for this time of the year. And the fans, I think, will stream in. I can't imagine it's going to look like a spring game in there.
It's picking up. Yeah. It's picking up. Let's not act like it's barren. But you're right. I mean, compared to like some of our other games, it's a little late arriving crowd. That's all right though. That's okay for a noon kick.
Maybe it's a late mingling crowd. Maybe everybody's here. They're just not mingling.
People are still in the parking garages tailgating.
So when they were, the band that's about, what would you call that, about 60, 70 yards away from us? I don't know, Tim, a little, what do we got, a 52-degree wedge?
We're like 100 yards.
I equate things in what club I would use to get there. So maybe like a 52-degree wedge. And when they were doing the sound check up there, I said there was nobody here, and we were up on the set. And the woman goes, I'm doing the sound check. And then she goes, sorry, thank you. And I said, You're welcome. She could hear it.
Hey, Clay Hall's in the house.
It's very
man.
family.
Clay Hall just walked by.
I know, and he came up and tried to high-five me while I was talking. He knows better than that.
He used to co-work with you. Now he co-works with me. What do you think about that?
Exactly. What happened?
He doesn't care, man. He's retired.
Yeah.
He's like Tim, though. He can't really retire.
Well,
I love the thing, like somebody said, Clay, what do you – he had retired. Then, 2 weeks he was back, covering a practice. Like, Clay, what are you doing? He's like, well, I already cut the grass. I don't know what else I need to do. Like, I have nothing else to do.
Yeah.
The Toyota Fan Tailgate Show is presented by Mountain Dew. So these people will get a little psyched. We've had games where the parking's more expensive than the ticket. It doesn't happen very often, but today might be one of those days.
Today's one of those days where it's 3 times as much as the ticket.
Big shout-out to the St. Louis Buckeye that came up here and dropped off a nice MacArthur's butter cake, the original South City recipe. There she is.
Look at that.
Is it a Drake?
Baby. That looks pretty. That looks pretty good. You take that
Drake's
to your
coffee cake.
You take that to your Thanksgiving party. You're going to be like the hit of the family.
The Entenmann's at the end of the aisle.
Yes.
They've got a display case there. But MacArthur's, we appreciate you. I can't call him out by name. Didn't know his name. He just dropped off a butter
St. Louis
cake.
Buckeye.
Yeah. Maybe
you
he'll
go.
be the taste tester for us.
It does look very scrumptious.
It does.
Looks very.
Hey,
delicious.
speaking of scrumptious, are we going to talk about other games other than this one today? I mean, the game at Oregon to this afternoon, right?
Yeah, it's 3:30. It kind of works out well with Ohio State at noon, and then Oregon, USC at Austin.
Massive one for Lincoln Riley.
Michigan
flip the switch on that program.
Michigan
wins this
at
one. Maryland.
I do think I'll be surprised if Oregon doesn't smack them around today. And I don't mean by like 20 or 30, but I mean I think Oregon's going to win this game by double figures. The spread's 9.5. I think Austin, as we know, is so tough to play. USC's been very good at home, sometimes sketchy on the road. I think Oregon's going to take it to them.
But
today.
it's huge for the Big Ten.
It is.
I mean, these next 2 weeks, because I mean, you know me, I just get. You talk about the SEC ad nauseum. It just makes me. It does make me nauseous to talk about the SEC and how they're purporting that a couple of 3-loss teams could possibly be in consideration. I go, give me a break, man. I mean, you're talking about the right now. The Big Ten looks like a 3-bid thing, but today could change that.
It could, and
next week, God forbid for Ohio State fans, could change it again.
And I'm sure you've debated this on your shows and everything you do. Like, what's going to be fascinating to me if I'm wrong and USC does win today, all right? And USC finishes 10-2, they're in, no doubt about it, right?
Yeah.
What happens with 10-2 Oregon in that scenario?
I think Oregon is in.
10-2 Oregon is in without a quality win.
Yeah, but I think they would be in.
I mean,
without a quality win, right?
I think 10-2 Oregon. So right now they're 7th. I think they'd be on the bubble, but I think they'd get in, and that would give the Big Ten 14. Now, obviously, if Michigan can pull the upset again, 10-2 Michigan would make it.
Let me ask you one.
But USC would win out over that because you would think because USC beat Michigan.
I think they would both be in then, and Oregon might be on the outside looking.
Let me ask you about the phrase about no quality win, because I think this is a somewhat of a debate in that they did go to Happy Valley and win in double overtime when Aller was the quarterback.
Correct.
Now, Penn State has turned into nothing, especially without him. But the question remains is, were they – I mean, they certainly weren't the third-ranked team in the country, but Aller did play that game. Didn't play great, and they went and won that game. Now that Penn State's gone into the toilet, so you rip that completely away from Oregon?
No, I think it's somewhere in between. I think it's because not only was Penn State, like, again, they weren't the third best team in the nation, but they had their quarterback. They still had their head coach. It was a whiteout at night. We all know how difficult that is. You can make the argument that is the toughest environment in college football. Now, Penn State playing like a MAC school at noon? No, but Penn State at night, whiteout, as tough as it comes. So I think you got to give Oregon some credit for that game, but just not nearly as much as you normally would.
I give them a lot of credit. I mean, Penn State, I thought was legitimately ranked, maybe over the top ranked 1-2, but they were legitimately ranked to be a very good football team. And sometimes when the bubble bursts, man, it gets all over everybody. And that's what happened to Penn State. But at the moment, That was a hell of a victory.
They're doing the famous "Don't give a damn" for the whole state of New Jersey right now, right? Is that? Oh no, that's Michigan. They're already looking ahead. They skipped over "Don't give a damn" for the whole state of New Jersey, and they're going straight to "Don't give a damn."
Is not only the best damn band in the land; they're the smartest band.
Yes,
in the
they
land.
are the smartest band in the land.
They understand.
They are.
They can pivot. They can pivot.
Tabiddle is a great nickname.
They're already on to Michigan week.
But no, I count that definitely as a big time win for Oregon, going into that place and winning for the first time.
Yeah, it's
definitely.
It's a little bit of both, but yeah, you got to give them credit because that's when.
Credit.
I don't know if Ohio State beat Texas in a very good dramatic game here at the Shoe.
Yeah.
Week 1. Is Texas what we thought they'd be? No, they're not. But you're not ripping that away from Ohio State completely. It's probably you got to add a little bit in that stew and stir it up.
Well, it's like the Notre Dame-Miami thing. If you're a Miami fan, you're like, wait a minute, we're 13th and they're 9th, and we have the same record, and we beat them? What are you talking about?
Right.
True, but Notre Dame's losses are actually quality losses. You have 2 terrible losses.
We'll get to that next, because I think that the CFP rankings, I think they're very strategic when it comes to the committee and insulating certain teams and making sure they're not, quote, comparable just yet.
Making Illinois ranked maybe to make certain teams look better?
We'll do that when we come back on the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan Tailgate Show right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Riverside Bank of Dublin Game Day Traffic Center.
It's a busy time on the roadways. A lot of people are trying to get to Ohio Stadium right now. 315 northbound starts to get crowded around the 670 merge, and that continues to Lane Avenue. On the southbound side of 315, you'll start to see a few more brake lights around the hospital curve, and that's going to continue to Lane. On Lane Avenue, it is bumper to bumper between High Street and Olentangy River Road. Olentangy has a crowd between Lane and Kinnear. Same stretch of Kenny Road, Lane to Kinnear, very, very busy right now. With Game Day Traffic, I'm Kate Burdett on The Fan.
Hey Columbus, it's Lorenzo Stiles Jr., Ohio State student athlete. Football runs deep in my family. My dad played here, and now my brother and I are proud to carry on that tradition. At Monogram Homes, family matters too. They treat every homeowner like one of their own, building with care, precision, and pride. Monogram doesn't just build houses, they build homes, crafted just for you. So whether you're starting your first home or designing your dream space, Monogram Homes has got your back every step of the way. Visit monogramhomes.net to start building today. Monogram Homes, a builder you can trust.
The Ohio State University Army ROTC isn't just a curriculum. It's more than just a path to a degree. For more than 150 years, we have been forging tomorrow's leaders. Here you will find your purpose, your mission, your ROTC family. At Ohio State, you're not just joining Army ROTC, you're stepping into a history of excellence that spans generations. Learn more at arotc.osu.edu. Buckeyes lead the way. In Columbus, how you roll up on game day matters. And with Polestar are redefining the driving experience. The Polestar 3 isn't just an electric SUV. It's an SUV that drives like a sports car. Precise, powerful, silent enough to hear the crowd before you see the stadium. Drive it today at Polestar Columbus. Or visit polestarcolumbus.com for a test drive and to learn about our competitive lease offers.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Remember that rush you got as a kid ripping open your favorite pack of cards? Well, guess what? You can feel it again at Midwest Cards. Right next to Nationwide Arena, this place is a collector's dream with thousands of packs from all eras. Chase that Ken Griffey Jr. rookie, pull a rare Michael Jordan, or even hit your favorite Pokemon and relive that childhood thrill. Plus, you can shop their pack wall, kick back in their roomy sports lounge, or even bring in your old cards to sell or trade. Get to Midwest Cards today and tell them T-Bone sent you.
Ooh, winter's coming. And when the wind starts to blow, don't come inside to the cold. Open the door to peace of mind with your Waterworks and Header Precision Furnace Tune-Up and Energy Savings Plan. Your furnace is the heart of your home, and Waterworks and Header will have yours running at peak performance throughout the winter. Plus, you'll save on those energy bills too. Go to waterworks.com and schedule your furnace tune-up online. Waterworks and Header, heating, cooling, and plumbing. Together to serve you better.
At Kemba Financial Credit Union, we care about you. Consumers like you say they don't want monthly fees for checking, and we listen. Introducing hassle-free checking with no monthly service fee. Use it as an easy place to deposit and transfer your money, along with your everyday banking needs. Plus, Kemba's expansive digital banking services make it easy for you to bank how you want. At Kemba, we're always thinking of ways to put you and your finances first. Visit Kemba.org. Federally insured by NCUA. Restrictions apply.
In the old days when people lived to be 40, you only had one option for listening to your favorite show. But now, ooh, baby, radio, podcast, the Fan app, and YouTube, just to name a few, live or on demand. You have no excuses. The Fan.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Columbus, Worthington, Air, and Bryant. Doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Tailgate Show.
Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And presented by Curtis & Associates and Mountain Dew.
Your forever flagship home of Ohio State athletics. The Fan.
All right, back at it here on the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan Tailgate Show. Anthony Rothman, Dave Biddle, Tim May. We were talking about the CFP rankings this week, and I always think it's kind of cute when they bring up the bracket that it'll never be, right? Because everything will change, and it's probably impossible for, the loser of the Big Ten championship game to stay 1 and 2. Like that's
but for talk radio's sake, you gotta love that.
I absolutely love it, and
or podcasts,
and we're gonna because we would talk about it anyway. Like we would talk about who we think is should be ranked where they should be ranked. So obviously they give us a jumping off point to be able to talk about it. And I think the big one for most of us this week is the fact that Notre Dame is ranked above Alabama, which doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel just. Now, I test it maybe, and maybe that's what won the room, is they feel, but my humble opinion is they're trying to keep Notre Dame as far away from Miami as possible right now.
Sure looks like
it.
But let me ask you this, though, when you say it's unjust, and I'm playing devil's advocate, because if I'm taking Alabama or Notre Dame on a neutral field, I'm taking Alabama. Okay, and if I'm a Bama fan, I would say they should be ranked ahead of Notre Dame. But it feels like people gloss over the fact that Alabama lost by 14 points to a bad Florida State team.
Correct.
And I know it was week 1. I know, but we can't say in college football every game matters. Week 1 means as much as week 12, and then say, except for that one really doesn't matter. I mean, again, they didn't lose by a last-second field goal to Florida State. That'd be bad enough. They lost by 14. And it's like nobody talks about that.
Okay, I'll tell you my simple feel on that is that they're rewarding Notre Dame for good losses, and they're punishing Bama for a bad loss but not great wins. So Notre Dame, you're saying, hey, those are great losses. You're good, even though you haven't really had a signature great win. Yet for Bama, we're going to ignore the ranked wins you have and only punish you for that bad loss in week 1. That's all I'm saying. And by the way, they're 1 apart. So my original thought is I'm not worried that Notre Dame's above Alabama. That's not a killer. It's that I think they're trying to insulate Notre Dame as much as possible from Miami. Because if you get Miami anywhere a little closer to Notre Dame, where in that committee room it's a comparable pool, if Miami ever gets in the same pool with Notre Dame, Miami wins that argument every day because they beat them.
Which you're right. And I think that's another they do certain things where you're like, it looks like they're helping another team out or they're doing this or that. When I saw Illinois went from, I didn't even know Illinois was going to be in the top 25. I thought maybe, Tim, they'd be 25th, 24th. When they were 21st, I was like, that's interesting. Yeah, it's clear that they don't want that Notre Dame-Miami debate. They think Notre Dame is better. They know that Notre Dame lost to Miami, but it was 3 points, last-minute field goal. But, yeah, if I'm a Miami fan, I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, but Miami's looked iffy in a couple of games other than that, number 1. Number 2, I saw Alabama play live at South Carolina, 4 weeks ago. And with my baby brother Tony, who's going to be 68.
69. Oh, 68.
Always like to say that.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, I didn't leave there impressed at all with Alabama. South Carolina helped them win a game that South Carolina should have won. And is anybody debating South Carolina is anything right now? I mean, I know they gave Texas A&M a run in the first half.
They're really good at blowing
just like
leads.
they did against Alabama. But Alabama found a way to win, and South Carolina helped them.
They found a way to win.
In that game. I'm with you. But I would take Notre Dame over Alabama right now based on what I saw. Ty Simpson is not as good as advertised, is not as good as being promoted. I mean, granted, anybody has some plays every now and then, but I like the way Notre Dame is playing right now. If I was debating just those 2 teams, 2 lost teams, I would take Notre Dame over Alabama.
So that's a little eye test for you, which might be winning the room. The other thing that helps Notre Dame is that A&M did come back and win that game.
Right.
Because if A&M loses that game, then Notre Dame loses points in a game they already lost to A&M.
Who knows? I mean, everything. Yeah. Who knows whether they lose points or not? Because you have a way. Those guys have a way of arguing their point, making their point, and being also hypocritical about their points.
I just think, first of all,
always have been.
Notre Dame would love if USC went to Oregon and won this week. That would do wonders for them. Notre Dame carries a certain brand. It's like if we were doing this, if there was a committee 23 years ago, and Ohio State goes to Paul Brown and barely beats the Bearcats, we're like in 2002, a year they won the title, they'd be like, what's this dreck?
And they should have lost.
That's what I'm saying. So Gino Gadula, I feel like it's one of those. It's one of those things that
you could have lost to Illinois.
Has that every week.
Purdue.
It's supposed to be a body of work. I get it, and the eye test has to come in.
But here's the thing.
Equation.
Supposedly this committee has a top secret sort of like formula, also that's judging not just strength of schedule, but the way teams played,
the eye test,
and the strength of
game control.
Yeah, this mysterious formula they're using now suddenly that is helping them sort their way through.
You can't apply the same criteria to every team. It's almost impossible because they play different schedules.
One thing I did not have, gents, in my CFP bracket was them having to replace the commissioner midstream here.
Right,
the guy from Baylor, just. Exit stage left, and what happened? We're not going to say anything about it. He just gave the I'm a man of faith. I need to take time for my faith and my family. Like, oh, geez. That sounds bad.
Reasons.
That sounds
Can you imagine Ross Bjork, though, going down in the middle of a game and yelling at a guy because he's wearing the wrong, whatever it was, undershirt?
I'm glad he has stopped doing that.
Here's the thing. The committee mimics the game. Next man up.
Right.
That's right.
All right, that's what it
is. That's exactly right. A Baylor guy out. Is it Arkansas?
Well,
Arkansas, you're in.
They added an extra guy because they were down one to begin with.
It's like when a ref gets injured. You got to have one on site, to jump in.
When he gets trucked. But, the bottom line is, who knows? The committee will come up with its final group, and everybody will sort through it and have arguments about it. But I am with Biddle to the extent of this team beat that team. These two teams have the same amount of losses. Don't talk to me about how close you played somebody. Head-to-head is you rarely get a head-to-head comparison with a lot of these teams when you're sorting through the top 12.
Head-to-head matters when they're comparable. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, it matters when they say it matters.
Well, I don't know if I feel like you can't. If one team gets upset by a team that has 3 wins, they're not all of a sudden ranked above them.
Right.
They have to be comparable.
We're talking about specifically Miami and Notre Dame.
Yes.
So
and I think that
every team goes
matter.
through. Every team goes through ups and downs through a season and stuff. But it's. Believe me, it's not the National Football League. The playoffs should never be equated to that, and you're going to have to figure out ways to explain to people why this team got in and that team didn't. That'll be the most interesting thing at the end of it all.
It's funny. When they originally had this committee, I remember saying that on my show, that the great news about this is they're going to have to get up and defend their decisions.
Right.
You know what I found out? They really don't.
No.
You get to the end, they defend it with one line, and then Reese Davis moves on to another topic, and it's done.
You know what bothers me,
They're
though?
not under oath.
What bothers me is they leave the assumption out there for everybody that they're watching all of these teams.
Yeah.
They're breaking down video all of these teams. I don't buy that for 1 second.
They got some football people in that room.
Well, they got some
analytic people in
the
that
whole
room.
group.
Yeah.
They're not all sitting there. Athletic directors aren't going in there and going through 30 games every week and parsing out the right tackle, how he's playing for that particular team.
It's funny because they talked about Ohio State in that way. They actually talked about the offensive line of all things.
Right. That's called generality.
When they were talking about Ohio State and Indiana and that they were going to the offensive line. So I don't know whether they were putting on a show and making it sound like they were a little more inside football than they are.
But they are pretty sharp on that because there are very few really good defenses in in the country this year. Ohio State happens to have one of them.
Well, sure. They're sharp when they're talking about Ohio State, of course.
Exactly.
Everything else, we're not so sure. All right. When we come back, we'll get to the keys to the game. Are there keys to the game? You'll find out next on the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan Tailgate Show right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Riverside Bank of Dublin Game Day Traffic Center.
Traffic is busy, but it is moving. The southbound side of 315 is getting crowded just after Riverside Hospital, and that continues down to Kinnear Road. On the northbound side of 315, you'll start to see a few more brake lights from the 670 merge up to Lane Avenue. Lane Avenue is our busiest spot right now, very crowded between High Street and Kenny Road. And don't forget that Woody Hayes Drive is closed between Tuttle Park and Cannon. With Game Day traffic, I'm Kate Burdett on The Fan.
Hi, Bob Capace from Worthington Jewelers. Coming up, more football talk on The Fan.
That's right, Bob. And just like our hometown team, Worthington Jewelers is all about tradition, family, and winning moments.
Celebrate your victories with us, your hometown jeweler, Worthington Jewelers.
Toyota-thon is on. Get in the spirit of the season with a new Toyota. Now through December 1st, get $3,000 customer cash on remaining new 25 Tundras. Or get 0.99 APR financing plus $1,000 TFS APR cash. With approved credit through TFS, excludes TRD Pro, APR cash must be applied to deal. And every new Toyota comes with 2 years no-cost maintenance. For complete details, go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Taking out the trash. Hey, Columbus, this is Zach Bourne.
And Jacoby Bourne.
When it comes to waste service, you want a team that knows how to deliver under pressure, just like Saturdays in the fall.
At Bourne Brothers Waste Services, our team is built on toughness, teamwork, and consistent execution.
We're the most reliable and customer service-focused waste company in Central Ohio.
Whether it is recycling, trash, construction waste, roll-off containers, front loads, or compactors, we have it handled.
Call now or visit BourneBrothers.com and let us tackle your waste needs.
Taking out the trash.
Plumbers, pipe fitters, welders, and HVAC techs. It's time to get what you deserve. Join a team that offers better wages, secure pensions, employee-paid health care, and free training and continuing education. Apprentices? You'll earn while you learn. No student debt, just a solid future. It's more than a job, it's a career. Visit UALocal189.com and take the first step today.
We're back to football talk, but before we kick off, a quick thanks to Bob and the team at Worthington Jewelers.
Thanks, Common Man. Whether it's game day or every day, we're here to help you celebrate life's biggest moments.
Worthington Jewelers, your hometown jeweler.
What he said.
When you're building a nursery school, elementary school, charter school, high school, vocational school, or jiu-jitsu school, lean on green. Sunbelt Rentals. With the largest rental fleet and most rental locations in Columbus, you can count on us to get you the right equipment at the right price right now. No matter what you got going in or going up. All powered by people. For equipment know-how, support, transport, and training. No wonder the Columbus builders who are building Columbus lean on green. Sunbelt Rentals. Learn more at sunbeltrentals.com.
Hey, you mind keeping it down up there, please?
KeyBank will meet you in that I need new neighbors moment.
Rick, it's your mortgage loan officer, Beth. I was in the neighborhood and wanted to let you know your home loan application's been approved.
Beth, you're always there for me, and not a moment too soon.
Are your neighbors bowling with grand pianos again?
And apparently raising livestock?
Ew.
For every financial need, we'll meet you in the moment. KeyBank opens doors. Equal housing lender. NMLS number 399797.
They're trained. They're prepared.
Let's do it.
They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Remember when sports used to be about calling up your favorite host and saying how stupid they are? Good news. We still do that. The Fan Call-In Show.
Hello. Sponsored by ESPN Bet at Hollywood Casino.
Sunday mornings at 8 on The Fan. Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. This is The Fan's Game Day Scoreboard.
This Game Day update is sponsored by Mutual Federal. proudly serving Columbus with personal and business solutions at mutualfederal.com.
And I'm Cole Bartemus. Big noon kickoff is back in town, so we are counting down to 12 o'clock when Ohio State and Rutgers get underway in the shoe. We got pregame coverage all morning long right here on The Fan. And as soon as this game is over, it is immediately Michigan week. Elsewhere around the country, not going to lie, a bit of a dog slate in college football today. But we got a couple good ones on deck. Number 22, Missouri, and number 8, Oklahoma will get going at noon live from Norman. The Sooners are coming off a statement victory versus Alabama last week, and now they're in the driver's seat to host a playoff game. And at 3:30, we got an important game in the Big Ten. Number 15, USC, is in Eugene taking on number 7, Oregon. If the Trojans win this one, they can completely redirect the playoff implications for both of these teams. And we got one more to look out for. Down I-71, number 11, BYU's in Cincinnati. Don't let the rankings fool you. The odds makers say this one will be close.
That was one hell of a game, huh?
Start ringing that victory bell. This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Tailgate Show.
Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And presented by Curtis & Associates and Mountain Dew.
Your home for Ohio State athletics. The Fan. It's time for the keys to the game.
Sponsored by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers. Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
All right, back on campus. It is the final tune-up before the game, and I'm going to phrase it that way because, it feels like a tune-up. I know there are a lot of people out there that says, play everybody, play them all, stay in that mindset.
Play the seniors.
That's not the way it goes. That's not how coaches really look at these games. They want to stay sharp, but they're walking that tightrope of balancing health and making the game go quicker because it's a game that they have the luxury of being able to do that. Against Rutgers, this is about running the ball for Ohio State. It has to be. 6.6 yards a carry Rutgers is giving up. Worst in the country.
That's exactly how many yards per carry Bo Jackson averages. 6.6. How about that?
Should be perfect. And
have both those go up today.
Match made in heaven.
The funny thought about, what I've heard people tell me is that, Rutgers is blocking all these punts, and against teams that punt. Like, I'm just waiting to see if that happens.
They'll get one chance at it today.
No, I'm not saying that Ohio State won't punt today.
No, I'm saying
it. If their run defense is as advertised, then Ohio State could rip off a couple big ones today. And that's the irony is that
Too bad they can't block kickoffs.
The Buckeyes should fake a punt. Everybody's like, Rutgers is going to do this or that. If they come after Joe McGuire, just Aussie rules football that thing right down the field, man.
And Kelly McManus has thrown for a lot of yards. You know why? Because they've been behind and having to come back on people.
Yeah, so it's kind of like I'd like for Ohio State to churn clock and make this game go faster, but if they rip off some home runs, 50, 60-yard runs for touchdowns, then obviously that ruins that. But that's what Rutgers brings to the table.
I like your use of the word churn. You don't hear that a lot.
Well, I got a gooey butter cake in front of me, so
you're watching
churn that butter.
Revolutionary War Ken Burns thing on PBS this week. They were doing a lot of butter churning back then. But you're exactly right.
2 mice fell in a bucket of cream.
Yeah.
I will
One
say this.
churned that cream into butter and crawled out. Ohio State today is that mouse.
Rutgers every year has a good running back. They lost Mononga. I know he was a 7th-round pick, but he's playing pretty well for the Bears. And then they have this kid who played a decent amount last year, even when they still had Mononga. Now this kid's a sophomore. He has exactly 1,000 rushing yards on the year. They've had Pacheco. Right. I know what happened with Ray Rice in the NFL, but he was a pretty good college running back, and he was a good running back in the NFL briefly. And they had Brian Leonard before that. I mean, they've had Rutgers has done a really good job with running backs. This kid's legit. He's from Montreal. Again, only a sophomore. Already has 1,000 yards on the year. So, it's weird, guys. Like you think of Schiano, you think of Rutgers, you think of they're gonna have a good defense. They'll be limited everywhere else. Maybe not on special teams. But no, I mean their defense is the worst in the Big Ten, one of the worst in the country. Well, this offense is actually pretty solid, and it's not just their running game. Ethan Kalikimakis can actually throw the ball somewhat well.
Yeah, I agree. With everything you just said, but they are who they are for a reason at this point in the season, and they're not very good. Number one, and the thing about it is, I think Rutgers, for the most part, until this year, has gotten better under Greg Schiano in his second term. But you get better, but everything's relative to who you're playing. And other teams have gotten better, if you follow my drift there. So it's very difficult to get out of that lower and middle rung of the Big Ten and become a contender. And I think they're paying the price because I think with teams like this, you've seen it, Anthony. You're Indiana. You got some Indiana in you. I mean, you kind of go through cycles.
Yeah.
Because you can't maintain like an Ohio State can or
That's
like
right.
A Michigan can in terms of roster, et cetera. And plus, you know, they're begging for money for the most part at Rutgers right now to stay in the race in the NIL aspect of things. So, you know, they've got struggles and they've got challenges that an Ohio State doesn't have.
And I'm not saying that a team can't rise up on any given Saturday and upset a team that isn't that they have no business maybe beating, but on paper it's. Remember, I don't know if you guys watched that series Breaking Bad.
Oh, yeah.
So when Walter White is finally deciding to become Heisenberg and they're meeting out in the desert, and he looks at him and goes, "Grade school T-ball, New York Yankees." Like that's, and it kind of has that feel today. But, you know, it's one of those things that Ryan Day and his staff have to prepare these guys like this game is as important as next week. I know it's not possible, really. The focus on this game has to be put it away in the first half and get these guys out there that can earn some experience.
Right, but he has clock ticking for Michigan. Yeah,
he does not want.
Sorry,
you do not want at this moment in the season to have a slop fest.
That's
out
right
there, though, and that's the point he is making. Is it's one step after the other. Like we're just talking about the two receivers are going to play extensively again this week, Bryson Rogers and Marlon Graham. It's time for them to take a next step. I mean, we've talked about them a lot. People have bragged about them a lot. Now's your chance. It reminds you a lot of the Rose Bowl when Jackson Smith and Jigba, when the two guys didn't play, Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave, and Jackson Smith and Jigba goes off, but so did Marvin Harrison Jr. and a guy named Emeka Egbuka. And look where they are now. So this is kind of an opportunity for those two guys to really step up.
Yeah, this is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan Tailgate Show. Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. You know, everyone's kind of leaning into next week a little bit at this point, Dave. But I think the one thing you can say about, next week's going to be next week, but the aggressiveness that Ohio State's going to want to play with next week, that's going to become a narrative because they weren't aggressive last year. Will they be this year? But it would be a slight departure of what they've done this year, which is take what defenses have given them, that they haven't had to force things this year. And I'm curious whether that will be the narrative next week on whether Ryan Day continues to play with that same type of strategy. They're going to give you the 12-yard out, you take it.
Yeah, and if you're a Buckeye fan, what you don't want to hear this coming week is we have to win the rushing battle to win the game. And for years that was true. And listen, I still think whoever wins the rushing battle is probably going to win the game next week. But you can't go into that with that mindset. Just do whatever you need to do to win the game. And I tell you what, you look at this Ohio State offense, I think they're going to do whatever they need to do to win the game. But the thing that gives me the most confidence, I'm sure most Buckeye fans out there, is this defense. This defense is tremendous. And we're talking about certain guys banged up on offense, obviously the two-star wide receivers. It's too bad a guy like Quincy Porter can't play today because he'll be playing a lot with the top two wide receivers out. So they're banged up. They've had some offensive linemen banged up. Looks like they're getting them back today, at least one with Josh Padilla. C.J. Donaldson's coming back. Guys, this defense, knock on wood if you're a Buckeye fan, could not be any healthier. And they've played like 40 snaps like the last two games, each of them, so like 80 total. So this defense, the best defense in the country, in every meaningful stat. Matt Patricia was an absolute home run hire, and they could not be healthier on defense this deep into a season. So, yeah, you look at next week, I do think Ohio State needs to go into that game just doing whatever they need to do to win the game. Last year it seemed like they wanted to beat Michigan at their own game. Almost could understand it going into the game, Tim, but they never adjusted the offensive game plan.
You get tired of the narrative that was coming from the north.
Yeah.
I mean, you get tired of that. I'm sure as coaches you get tired of it. They looked their best last year when they ran that 2-minute offense before halftime, went right down the field, touchdown pass to Jeremiah Smith. You go, okay, the light has come on.
They got it.
Then the light went off.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It really did. It really did.
It did. You're right.
We'll leave the light off.
A couple times in that game where I was like, okay, they got it now. Okay, they came up with a terrible game plan. Will looked like he had the concussion. Then he came back and threw the touchdown after that. And then I'm like, okay, they got it. And then I was like, oh, I don't know. Then Jack Sawyer had that interception, deep in Michigan territory. I was like, okay, they got it now.
Right.
That was just a weird game.
Should have been the play of his career. Who knew he'd get another?
Yeah. He's like, give me.
Bottom line is today.
Give me about a month and a half.
I asked Ryan Day about this earlier in the week. I said, you got to give yourself some credit, coaching staff wise, of sticking with the run game, developing the run game, even though you're playing lesser opponents, getting that going, and it's going to pay off for them again today, I do believe. But next week will be a different animal.
Yeah. Look at us. We're already talking about it. We'll have all next week to talk about it, which will be fun. All right, we'll come back with a final check-in with the voice of the Buckeyes, Paul Keels, next. Keys to the Game. We're sponsored by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers. Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places right here on the Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Riverside Bank of Dublin Game Day Traffic Center.
315 northbound is slowing down just a bit once you approach the King Ave Medical Center exit, and that's going to continue up to Ackerman Road. Southbound on 315, pretty much the same story, starting right around the North Broadway exit, and that goes down to Kinnear Road. Off of the highway, you'll see those side streets crowded as well. Kenny Road is crowded between Lane Avenue and Kinnear Road. Olentangy River Road, that same stretch between Lane and Kinnear, very busy right now. With Game Day traffic, I'm Kate Burdett on the Fan.
Buckeyes, the 2025 football season is here, and that means three things: football, game day, and smooth Jameson whiskey. Whether you're catching the game at home, at your neighborhood bar, or soaking up the team spirit at a tailgate, Jameson Ginger and Lime at Ohio State Athletics are a winning combo. So cheers to making game days even better with the official whiskey of the fans. Jameson, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Taste responsibly.
Jameson Irish Whiskey, product of Ireland. 40% alcohol by volume, 80 proof. Copyright 2025, imported by John Jameson Import Company, New York, New York.
Hey, football fans, it's November in Ohio, and you know what that means. It's time to face that state up north in a battle to claim forgotten funds. Join us in the statewide challenge and visit com.ohio.gov/radio to help support Ohio's takedown of Michigan. The state with the most searches wins. Who knows? Unclaimed funds could help you buy a seat to the big game next year. Claim your money today at com.ohio.gov/radio.
Drive your dream car home today, no matter your credit history. Hey, it's Phil here at Capital Ford of Columbus and Whitehall. We proudly accept all credit types, good, bad, or none. Get pre-approved in minutes and hit the road with confidence. Get your new ride today. Call 614-861-7150 or shop our huge selection online at capitalfordofcolumbus.com. Your perfect ride is credit ready and waiting at Capital Ford of Columbus.
Give me a mountain with lots to do. Give me the sunshine, give me a dew. Give me something simple and true. All I need is sunshine and a cool, refreshing mountain dew. So give me my good days, give me a dew.
Grab some friends and an ice-cold Mountain Dew today.
Mountain Dew.
Our clients deserve for us to care, and they deserve to feel serviced. They have questions, and they deserve answers. We're counselors first because I'm not selling them anything. I'm trying to teach clients how to protect themselves. At Curtis & Associates, we're personal injury attorneys. We've helped and continue to help hundreds and hundreds of clients every year. That's important to us. If you've been injured in an accident and it's not your fault, call now. 614-GOT-HURT. That's 614-GOT-HURT. Curtis & Associates. Attorneys who care.
You are a very important person. You show up, put in the work, and bring your best to each and every day. It isn't always glamorous or easy, but it's worth it because you're building a life for yourself and those you love. That means a lot, and so do you. When you open an account at Park National Bank, you get more than you might expect. Your own personal banker and the VIP treatment you deserve. Park National Bank, where you mean more. Member FDIC.
It's Happy Honda Days and Black Friday savings together at Germain Honda of Dublin. Strike now because through December 1st, get 0% APR up to 60 months on new Hondas. And you're even going to get 90 days until your first payment on both new and used vehicles. Rich has hundreds of vehicles in stock. The selection has never been better. Germain Honda of Dublin on Sawmill Road just south of 270. In-stock units only, not valid on prior sales. With approved credit, must qualify through through primary lender. See dealer for details.
Your new Columbus home for the Jim Rome Show is the Fan 2.
Catch the live experience weekdays from 3 to 6.
Just one requirement. Have a take and don't suck. The Fan 2, Columbus's home of the Jim Rome Show. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We're looking at mostly sunny skies here for today. If you're heading out for the Buckeyes game, we're tracking temperatures in the upper 40s to lower 50s here by this afternoon. Winds will be less than 10 miles per hour here for today. And then more sunshine by tomorrow with highs in the mid-50s here for your Sunday afternoon. But we are tracking some changes as we head into next week as we see rain arriving for Tuesday, followed by some much colder temperatures with highs only in the 30s here by Thanksgiving Day. That's a look at your 10 weather impact forecast. I'm meteorologist Aaron White here on 97.1 The Fan.
Starting Monday, it's rivalry week. We call it that because the Buckeyes play a very annoying team from Michigan. Clever.
Sponsored by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers.
The Fan. Bring the energy. It's game day, Buckeye fans. You're listening to the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Tailgate Show.
Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And presented by Curtis & Associates and Mountain Dew.
Your home of the Buckeyes. The Fan.
All right, we're inching closer to kickoff. Paul Keels' final check-in, sponsored by Byers Imports. Byers Imports, Hamilton Road by the airport. All right, Paul, what's coming up?
Well, Anthony, coming up, as always, we'll hear from both head coaches, Greg Schiano of Rutgers and Ohio State's Ryan Day. Defensive line coach Larry Johnson will talk about how his group has performed so far this season. Tyler Danberg, before he took off for points elsewhere, talked with Lorenzo Stiles about his kick return and the way the defense has played. They'll also hear from Ed Terwilliger, who's the director of high school relations for the football program and assisting in recruiting. Chris Carlin, the play-by-play voice of the Rutgers Scarlet Knights, will talk about what their season has been like. And as always, we will have our award-winning, world-famous Lieutenant Governor bell ringer, Senior Day, birthplace of college football, Sergeant Hulkin, the urban assault vehicle, Love or Let Me Be Lonely version of Buckeye Flashback with Hall of Famer Skip Mossick. That's coming up shortly.
All right, my man. Good stuff. We appreciate you, Paul. Thank you.
A reference to the big toe.
Yeah, Sergeant Hulk with the big toe is going to see how far he can, you know what.
Yeah.
This is a very fun day today for a lot of guys. They replaced, 14 NFL draft picks from that very experienced team last year, a team that could right the wrong of Michigan and relight the fuse and do what they did last year. This team we know is as talented or more. They just don't have the experience that team had. And, you know, there was a comment by Dan Orlovsky of ESPN that talked about how Ohio State hasn't been tested since week one. It's factually correct. There's no way Ohio State can simulate the pressure right now being down in a fourth quarter because they haven't been. So they don't know. And maybe they never will be able to simulate that. And maybe they won't be down in a fourth quarter. Who knows? But I think it's factually okay to say that we won't know truly how great this team is until they're in a matchup game or next week when the pressure is really on in the rival game. And then beyond that, they go into the playoffs. So they're trying to live up to an incredible standard, which is you win every game you line up. And Ohio State's trying. What do they get? They got the big streak going now. If they would win it all this year, we're talking about a 20-game win streak if they would run the table. And so look what happened to Oregon last year. Went in undefeated. Knew they'd have to go undefeated. Ohio State cracks them in the revenge game. Sometimes a loss is good. You spin it any way you need to spin it, right? Nobody wants to lose. But if you do, you find out more about yourselves. Right now, Ohio State is riding high, number one, and they got to keep riding that wave.
Yeah, and we'll never know, guys. Like, obviously, if you're a Buckeye fan, it'll be nice to beat Michigan and win the national championship. Are we sure they win the national title if they don't have that come-to-Jesus moment after, they literally had that team meeting afterwards. It was Ryan Day and the players. Your very rare players-only meeting where the head coach is also in there, none of the assistant coaches. I still think they would have won the national championship. They were the best team. They proved that. But we'll never know. That definitely got them motivated.
Well, absolutely. I mean, it got the coaching staff motivated. I mean, that was like you heard what Brandon Ennis said last week after the game. I mean, Ryan Day has been a different guy since that loss, but mainly since that meeting. And I've given it up to Ryan Day several times. A lot of coaches wouldn't have that meeting. And it wouldn't have been conducted the way it was conducted, which is a mea culpa by him, and then how does everybody get better, et cetera. And the other thing that that team had going for it, that people discount all they want. Larry Johnson, I've talked about this. That team had a spiritual component to it that was real, that instead of going like a hand grenade, they solidified after that. This team has been solid from the start. And here's the thing about, Dan Orlovsky and all these people. I mean, I agree with them about the testing aspect of things.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, everybody that's playing for Ohio State, for the most part this year, played extensively for them last year when they did get tested. This idea that these players haven't been tested is erroneous. Julian saying, bottom line is he's had one close game. One of the reasons is because he's played so damn good, right?
Right.
And the one close game, of course, was in the opener, and they did get tested in the opener against Texas. They're up 14-0, and then it's 14-7. You got to win that game in the fourth quarter, and they got it done. So, but yes, you don't know till you know, right? And like you said, I mean, they would like to go through this and win double digits all the way through. We'll see if they can do that, because I don't believe in the idea that you have to have lost a game to know what you're all about. I think that's a fallacy.
So pressure does different things to different people, and they haven't quite felt the elimination pressure yet. You won't feel that to the playoff. And so it's hard to know. I think there's a little bit of – I believe in both things. Well, that's what I said. I believe in riding the wave of you're playing great, and you're not going to purposely put yourself in harm's way so you can see what you're about. However, if you do face that and you come through it or you don't, you can work with that too. Both teams – look at A&M. If A&M were to go on to win it all this year, and you go back to that South Carolina game, they might say to themselves, we needed that, or we needed that to feel that.
Holy Buckeye.
Who knows,
2002 with Jim Tressel being the bell ringer today. They had like
a million.
They had like 10 of those games.
One-score games that they win.
Holy Buckeye stands out. The two times they scored in that game was like a last-second field goal, which I'm still not sure if they actually got off the end of the first half, Mike Nugent, and then the Holy Buckeye play. That was 10-6. You're right. I mean, every national championship team has a game like that, so we'll see.
Well, Illinois was overtime.
Yeah, exactly. It shouldn't have been.
Right. But it was.
It was.
Right, so they could use it to their advantage.
Creswell scored in regulation, but whatever.
That's going to the brink. My point is that's going to the brink. So, different teams, get there in different ways. I just think this team is playing at a very high level right now from an execution and efficiency standpoint for the most part. We saw them struggle in the beginning of the second half last week against an inferior opponent. I'm talking about offensively Ohio State did, But those are guys playing for the first time in extensive roles, so we'll see where it goes.
I think part of his phrasing of it, Orlovsky, you could take it any way you want. Some people took it personally, some people took it factually or objectively. I look at it this way. Right. I looked at it objectively. He's right to say that the teams that they've played are not at their level, so it's hard to really know how great they really are.
And the one team that they thought would be on their level, Texas, has fallen off.
And Penn State.
But Penn State. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, and even like games like they thought Wisconsin maybe wasn't going to be a tough game, but wouldn't be like a joke like they are. The schedule I thought was tough.
And the committee says nobody's at their level. They're number one with a bullet. Are we picking now?
Not just yet, because the Toyota Fan Tailgate Show is presented by Mountain Dew. Got to get that in for our friends at Mountain Dew. We will be picking, and the spread has come down, 31.5, as I mentioned earlier.
Wow.
So, it like I said, this is kind of a stay-away game from a gambling standpoint because you just don't know the strategy. You're not playing 4 quarters of true starter football. We don't believe. That's the toughest call.
I think Ohio State gets a home run from one of these running backs today. I see Ohio State 45-7.
I have 42-7 Ohio State, very similar to Tim.
All right, I'm coming down to 41-10, so we're all in that camp. This is the Kurgis and Associates Fan Tailgate Show. Remember, they don't get paid unless you get paid. Buckeye Nation, enjoy. It's the final home game. They're marching in. Thanks to everyone that helps us put this show on the air. Cole, take it away. We'll hand it off to the network. Thanks for listening. We are 97.1 The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Riverside Bank of Dublin Game Day Traffic Center.
We've seen traffic volumes pick up just a bit in the past 30 minutes or so. 315 southbound from about North Broadway down to Lane Avenue. Quite a few more brake lights on the northbound side of 315. It's busy from the 670 merge up to Ackerman Road. Lane Avenue is busy between High Street and Kenny Road. And if you're trying to drive on Lane right now or in the area of the stadium, keep in mind they have just opened stadium